Okay, this is JRS. Something very exciting has happened. Star Wars Visions, Star Wars anime has just released on Disney Plus. I'm about to watch the first 3 episodes and record my reactions. I'm going to do this for all of them, but just for tonight, I'm doing the first 3. I'm going to give my immediate reactions to the video on video. I'm going to record my immediate reactions, but I'm only doing the first 3 tonight. So if the background changes the next time I do it, or it's different daytime, different time of day, that's because I am doing them in different intervals. I have work tomorrow. Everybody's got stuff they got to do. So I'm only doing the first 3 tonight, but I'm very excited to be doing these. I'm doing the subs first. I want to do the original Japanese first, and then I might do another video where I do the dubs afterwards. But I'm very excited. So I gotta go watch the first episode of Star Wars Visions. I'll be back in just about 15 minutes. The Duel. It is heavily inspired by what it feels like old black and white Japanese cinema, with the Ronin coming into town. The character is literally called the Ronin, coming into a town. This town is being oppressed by Imperials, or old Imperials. This is after the war has ended. These are Imperials turned bandits, and they have a Sith bandit leader, and she has a freaking lightsaber umbrella. Coolest thing I've ever seen. But what I love about it is that she takes off the umbrella part and there's a regular old saber. I love that. That's what Kylo's weapon should have been able to do. I don't know. There wasn't enough cool lightsaber stuff in the sequels. I'll say, you'll hear me say that a bazillion times because it's true. The sequels were a huge wasted potential. Anyways, this was just really, really cool. The lightsaber duel was fantastic. The duel itself was great. The Ronin has a droid. He's got a little astromech droid that gets damaged and he needs repaired. And it's a classic sort of Japanese cliche or trope where he says to a fixer that I need this droid fixed by the time this teapot finishes boiling. And I love that concept. There's a great twist in this episode that I'm not going to talk about, but it is really cool. It's not entirely explained, which is okay. This was only about 15 minutes long. It didn't need to be any longer. It was really cool, little encapsulated story. The town had some cool guard characters. They had a Trandoshan, they had a Tusken Raider, a protocol droid with a E-Web blaster. And that's one of the coolest things about this, of course, is the Star Wars elements being used in Japanese animation. Like, there are just so many recognizable sounds to be used here that from Star Wars. Clearly Disney gave them a bunch of sound effects to use, which totally comes off. It's so clear that they're getting just buttloads of sound effects from them. And speaking of sound, the music, phenomenal. I love that it sounds kind of Star Wars, but it's also got its own, of course, anime spin to it. This had this gradient black and white thing where it is actually it looks like it's made of film. Anyway, that was really great. The Duel, 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 on the Duel. I've decided I'm going to do out of 5. That's how we're doing this. 4 Kyber crystals out of 5. 4 Kybers out of 5 Kybers. Okay, that's how we're doing this. Next up is Tatooine Rhapsody. We'll see how that goes. I'll get you back here in a literal second. What? Tell me the trouble of my autograph. Let's rock 'em! Ooh, that was a ride. OMG. Ooh, half a glass of chocolate milk later, and we are off to the races, or should I say to the concert, because this was insane. Okay, quick little confession. I intended to listen to these or to play these in the original Japanese, but when I tried that, for some reason, the subtitles weren't working. Disney Plus has a lot of great content, not as refined as Netflix is yet in terms of its actual quality as a streaming service. Doesn't matter. I am so glad that this didn't work, because I knew that I had a recognizable voice in the last one, because it turns out Lucy Liu was the bandit leader. And in this one, oh my God. Okay, first of all, I recognized Terrera Morrison as Boba Fett immediately, which was like, that makes it all worth it. But then at the end of this, the main character is Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and his best friend is Bobby Moynihan. I love Japanese voice actors, but I love recognizing voice actors that I know. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in Star Wars now. Okay, anyway, actual episode. We start at the end of the Clone Wars. It's Order 66, and a young Padawan is running away from the clones, and he falls and breaks his lightsaber into the back of a van. And the next thing we know, he's playing in a band. And he's playing in a band with a 3-headed drummer and a robot bass player and a little other robot guy. And what turns out to be, I didn't even realize this, Bobby Moynihan is playing a Hutt who's on the bass, who leads the band. And he's this rebellious Hutt that doesn't want to be part of the crime syndicate. And he's made an enemy of Jabba because he won't join the family business, I guess. And Boba Fett comes in to try to take him away. And at this point, I'm thinking, wow, this is like, and we see Slave One, and I'm like, this is my favorite thing. This is going to get a 5 out of 5. It does not get a 5 out of 5. At the end of the day, I think I'm actually, spoilers, I'm going to give it a 3 Kyber Crystal rating out of 5. But that doesn't mean I didn't love it. It's above average. It's great. I think this is a great episode. The plot's a little contrived, tiny bit contrived. I don't love the music. I wonder if in the original Japanese, I might like the music a bit better. I'm going to have to go and try and fix this here in the original Japanese at some point for the now. And of course, for the next episode. And I guess for the rest of this, just to be fair, I got to do the rest in the dub. But Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Jay, the Padawan who turns his lightsaber into a microphone. Yes. Okay. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a fantastic little piece of Star Wars. I think that's all I have to say about it. 3 out of 5. Excellent, though. Absolutely love it. This guy could give Cal Kestis a run for his money as my favorite Padawan. Okay, next one, the twins. This is the one that I've been looking forward to the most. We'll see how it goes. Recording reactions, activate. I will make death yield to me, and I'll do it with the power of the dark side flowing through my body. Okay, you guys, I just finished the twins, and I am, oh my God, main characters, Neil Patrick Harris and Alison Brie. Love it. I love all these cool people we're getting to be in Star Wars, and I loved this episode. I was really, really looking forward to this episode because I love Studio Trigger. Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill and even Little Witch Academia, they are all big favorites of mine. These are some of the shows that got me into anime in the first place. So to see them take on Star Wars and see their signature sort of minimalist look is amazing. And this, honestly, this is the Star Wars of my dreams. By that, I mean, this is the kind of thing I would imagine when I was trying to go to bed as a kid, like twins fighting like this. In the vacuum of space, of course, because, you know, why not be able to breathe in space? There's air in space, obviously. Okay, so plot here, story is there are 2 twins that were raised by the dark side. We don't get a lot more than they were somehow raised by the dark side. And they have this Gemini class Star Destroyer. It's 2 Star Destroyers with a big old engine in the middle of it. We got another Death Star, folks. We got another Death Star laser that can destroy planets. And our 2 siblings, they have a Kyber crystal that they use. Fair enough, they use a Kyber crystal to power the giant laser. At least that makes Star Wars sense. They use this laser. They're going to use this laser to blow up a planet. But we have the sister and we have brother Kare. And Kare doesn't want to blow up a planet, and he tries to escape with the crystal only to be blocked by his sister. And basically the entire thing is a big duel between the two. And I will say, because I don't think it's that big of a twist, it's just kind of like, why is he doing this? He's doing this because he had a vision that his sister would die using the kyber crystal, because early on her droid tells her that she can use the kyber crystal on her suit. They have very Darth Vader-esque suits. They're clearly very Imperial in style. And they can use the kyber crystals to power their suits. And he has a vision that she will die doing this. She'll die using this power. It's important to note that the episode is called The Twins, and this whole episode is about duos. You got 2 starships, 2 Star Destroyers. Kare's robot is literally called our duo. Like, how on the nose can you get? The exposition is really poorly delivered, but it's so Trigger. It's so classic Trigger. It's so over the top. It's crazy over the top. It is crazy over the top, and I love it. I loved every second of it. I absolutely adored it. Now, one thing that really gives it extra points to me is actually a bit of a philosophical take on Star Wars, which I don't feel like the other 2 really did. Am says, "You fear death too much, Kare. That's your weakness." And that's really funny, because if you know Star Wars, you know that that's really the Sith's weakness. They fear death. And that's kind of the reason they seek out power, is because they overvalue their life and try to live after death. Like, that's kind of the whole point, is to prolong life, to never die. The whole point of Darth Vader was he was too afraid of Padme's death. And that's what drove him to the dark side, really. And that's what Palpatine held over him. And Palpatine himself, even, like, he was constantly, that's the whole, I mean, give the sequels the tiniest bit of cred on this. He does come back later. He's always trying to prolong life. So it's sort of interesting to have this twist where Am doesn't really understand herself. She doesn't really understand. It's the other way around. And she's sort of willing to destroy herself in a way. They have this really interesting dynamic, Kare and Am. Obviously, he's light side, she's dark side in a way, but they were both bred to be dark side. And it seems like he actually says at one point that he doesn't care for the Empire or the Republic. He really only did this for his sister. That's the only motivation that we get out of him. It's really interesting. Yes, he has a blue lightsaber blade, and he flies an X-Wing, because all heroes fly X-Wings. But the only motivation we get is that he cares about his sister. He might not have done any of this if he didn't foresee the death of his sister. So that's just a really interesting take to go here. She cares about the dark side. He couldn't care less about either side. He just loves his sister, as a guy that really cares about his sister. And that was really great. Now, that being said, I am going to give this a 3.5 out of 5, 3.5 kyber crystals out of 5, because the exposition is really clunky. I'm sorry. I don't like it when people can breathe in space. Call me a realist, I guess. I don't know. And they're just like, I love Trigger. I really, really love Trigger. I feel like I need more from this. And there's a lot of clunky exposition here. Like, Kare says to Am that he wanted to tell her about his vision, but he knew she'd be too stubborn. I would have liked to have seen that. That's the kind, like, this is show don't tell, that's basic storytelling. So there's some really clunky exposition. Trigger does have a lot of exposition, but usually it's well-placed, well-timed exposition, because usually they're telling stories in much longer periods of time. Now, the reason I'm rating it better than Tatooine Rhapsody is because that had some story difficulties that I don't think this had. This was a little tighter, even though it was longer. It knew what it wanted to be. It was so fun. It was such pure childhood dreaming Star Wars, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. even if I was like, ooh, that was not well handled, or like, oh, why is he breathing in space? Like, it's Trigger. That's why he's breathing in space. But still, I'd like a little bit more than that. I loved this so much that I want to see more of it. And for what this is, at least at the moment, as a one-off piece, I'm giving it 3.5 because I don't want to want more after I'm done this. When I'm watching a short film, I want to feel complete. I want to feel like I got everything out of it and I can take what I've experienced and go forward. That is definitely what I got from the Duel. The Duel was perfect, absolutely perfect. I did not need to know anything else. It was exactly what I wanted. It was perfect. The last one, Tatooine Rhapsody, could have seen more of that. I like, we got Boba Fett tapping his feet, nodding his head. We got Jabba having a good time. You know, like I could see more of that. Maybe. I want to see where this story goes from here. I would love to see a prequel to this story. I want to see why were the twins created. Really interesting stuff. Okay, I will be back in the future for the next 3 episodes of Star Wars Visions. I am loving this. Wow. Oh, beautiful. Love it. Star Wars, Disney, you made some missteps, Disney, but like everything you've done on TV, oh my God, except for Resistance. Anyway, love it. Catch y'all later. May the Force be with you.